Welcome to another episode of Love Above All with Brandis, where my mission is to help us love ourselves, know ourselves, and share ourselves with others for God's purpose without any blame or shame, just being who we are. This is episode number 14 entitled Thinking to Love Yourself. This is part of a 3-part episode. The one prior to that was Eating to Love Yourself, and I'll leave a link below. And then the one after this will be Moving to Love Yourself. So I want to go ahead and I want to start off by asking you a question. Do you feel at times, whether they're short or long periods of time, do you feel that you are living life as if you are in a trance? And what I mean by that is, do you feel that you are conscious of the thoughts it is that you are thinking, second to second, minute to minute, hour to hour? So I definitely would always ask myself that. And in the past, I would say that for the majority of the time, I was in a trance. I felt like a puppet being led by some type of puppet master. I just was very convinced that whatever thoughts I was thinking, that they were true, that they were able to control my life. The bad ones as well were able to control my life. And I really felt no escape from that. And at times, if I was in a big pit, I probably didn't even know it. But I'm very aware of how I was thinking then compared to now. So in my last episode, I talked about eating to love yourself. And the general theme was to make sure that any food that we are putting in our bodies giving us energy and not taking energy away. Let's revisit those 2 quotes that I put in, one from scripture and then one quote. I'm going to go ahead and insert that right here.
You realize, don't you, that you are the temple of God, and God himself is present in you. No one will get by with vandalizing God's temple. You can be sure of that. God's temple is sacred. And remember, you are the temple. You can learn to follow the inner self, the inner physician that tells you where to go. Healing is simply attempting to do more of those things that bring joy and fewer of those things that bring pain.
This thread that I want to bring through in these next episodes would be that we are the temple of God. The living God is in us, and things that we should be doing in our life should be honoring and life-giving to that temple that lives inside of us. And then the other one, the other quote, basically reiterating that the awareness that is inside of us, that spirit that is inside of us, which I believe to be Christ's awareness, is able to help us heal. And if we're ever in any type of suffering, we can always go to that inner physician, that inner mentor, that inner counselor in order to help us get out of the rough circumstances that we are in. So we're going to just keep reminded of that. So if I were to give a central theme to thinking to love yourself, I would say that just like eating to love yourself, it's with every thought, with every thought that we are thinking. Are we thinking thoughts that are serving us, or are we thinking thoughts that are stealing from us? So ask yourself that same question. Are your thoughts life-giving, or are your thoughts life-taking? There's one book that I think is awesome that I started reading a while back, and it is called Who Switched Off My Brain? Controlling Toxic Thoughts and Emotions by Dr. Carolyn Leaf. And she's a doctor that's done an extensive amount of research on how important our thought life is to our body, and how our thoughts really control not only our destiny and things that it is that we're able to achieve, but how we feel from day to day, and different illnesses that can come out of a very, very poor thought life. And it also talks about epigenetics, which is a term that is basically about the study of our genes and how we're really, with our thought life and environment and things of that nature, we're able to kind of turn our gene switches on and off. Everything is not predetermined, so there's always a way to heal and change your circumstances, even that are in your genetic line. So this is an awesome book. I would highly recommend that you go ahead and pick that book up. That's really great. So where I'd like us to start is basically, it says in the Bible, I think it's John 10:10, and Jesus talks about how he came here to give us life and for us to live an abundant life. And I truly, truly believe that he meant that. And I think that that's what it means. It means that those of us that are in trance, or we're living life in trance, we're not co-creating with God. We're not thinking that our thought life really matters, or that our belief or that our faith really matters. Then we're just kind of floating through life, and we're just letting life happen to us, as opposed to really being an active participant in life. So if we feel that we're stuck in that type of a situation, I think there's a couple things that we can do. I think one of these come from the book, and some of these are just my own personal experiences. So let's see if we can do this together. This is something that I want to do, that I continue to do. It's part of my practice as well, daily, just really trying to co-create with God and not live in that trance and not be the puppet led by a puppet master. So let's take a look at some things we can do. So the first thing that we can do definitely is to, if we notice ourselves in some type of obsessive trance, or we're overthinking, or we're really low and we're sad and we're conscious of our emotions and things like that, we can pause and we can ask ourselves if we are feeling negative, or if there's a lot of negative thoughts that are surfacing, or if there's anger, or if there's rage. We can pause and we can ask, what is it here to teach us? Simply, what is it here to teach us? Get quiet. You can journal. You can sit and meditate. You can, go to scripture and see if that'll take you somewhere. But what is it here to teach you? Is there someone you need to forgive? Is it telling you something about your personality that you may need to change? And most importantly, a lot of times I feel that when negative things pop up, we're forgetting that we're all children of God. We're forgetting that we are loved immensely, and that we're not loved by this God of fear. We're loved by a God of love. And if we forget that we are his child, that can lead to a lot of I think negative emotions and feeling unworthy and things of that nature in our life, and it can put us in a real deep pit. So first thing, pause, question, ask what these feelings, emotions, thoughts are actually trying to teach you. The second thing would be to simply get up and move and go to another location. If you're feeling that your negative thoughts are really bogging you down, you don't have to sit there and let it fester. You can get up, move, do something else to try to get your mind off of the negative thoughts it is that you are thinking. And lastly, and I think this is what Dr. Carolyn Leaf talks about, is we can substitute our negative thoughts and toxic thoughts with life-giving thoughts, such as going to scripture and replacing a scripture verse with the thoughts that we are thinking, and try to repeat that over again. It could be an affirmation that you really like, that you have found that you can go ahead and replace that with. Anything to replace that negative thought with something that is more life-giving as opposed to life-taking. So that's another thing that we can go ahead and try. So I hope that we can try all these things together, and it's something that we do second by second, day by day, but let's be committed to not living in a trance. Let's be co-creators with the creator of the universe. He loves us so very much, and I know that whenever you pause and you go back to that awareness that lives inside of you, that it's always going to give you what it is that you need. It's going to direct you to where you need to go. I believe Jesus when he said that we can live a more abundant life, and it's something that is definitely possible, but we just need to take the time, and it is a practice to separate ourselves from those toxic and controlling thoughts. So I will see you in the next episode. I hope that you can take some tidbits of this and apply it to your own day and your own life. And once the practice becomes more part of you, then it is easier to just keep on climbing the mountain that we call life and enjoying this journey with a content and joyful heart. God bless you. Take care. See you next time.